been there, right? Staring at a wall of screens in a store, completely stuck. It's a classic tech dilemma. Do you get a TV or a monitor? And believe me, getting this right makes all the difference. Get it wrong, and you're looking at some serious buyer's remorse. So let's just dive right in. 10 years ago, this was an easy choice. It was a no-brainer. But today, you can get a massive 4K TV for what a pretty good monitor costs. So why not just get the giant TV for everything? Well, as we're about to find out, size, it definitely isn't everything. These two screens are actually built for totally different jobs. And trust me, the stakes are higher than you think. Making the wrong call could literally mean finishing a workday with strained eyes and a sore neck. Or it could mean getting absolutely demolished in your favorite online game because of lag. Or, just a movie night that feels flat. We're going to make sure that doesn't happen to you. Okay, so here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll get into the weeds on what actually makes these two things different under the hood. Then we're going to look at this from 3 different perspectives: the hardcore gamer, the productive professional, and the dedicated movie buff. Finally, we'll wrap it all up with a really simple guide to help you make that final call. All right, first up, let's get the fundamentals down. Because really, understanding what makes these displays tick is the secret to knowing which one you actually need. This table right here, it really gets to the core of it. Monitors are built for you to be right up close. I mean, you're sitting, 2 or 3 feet away, clicking, typing, interacting constantly. That's why they are all about speed and sharpness. TVs, on the other hand, they're designed for the couch, maybe 10 feet back. Their whole job is to create a big, beautiful picture you can just sit back and enjoy. Okay, here's a term you're gonna hear a lot: input lag. It's that tiny, tiny delay between when you do something, like click your mouse or hit a button on your controller, and when you actually see it happen on the screen. For anyone who games, low input lag is everything. It is literally the difference between landing that perfect shot and staring at a game over screen. Monitors are built for speed here, while TVs often have more lag because they're doing a lot of processing to make the image look amazing. And next up is refresh rate, which we measure in hertz. All this means is how many times per second your screen can draw a new image. So a 120 hertz display is showing you twice as many pictures every second as a 60 hertz one. And in fast-moving games or action movies, that means you get this incredibly smooth motion instead of a blurry mess. And when it comes to crazy high refresh rates, yeah, gaming monitors are just in their own world. All right, gamers, this section's for you, because when it comes to gaming, the screen you choose can be the actual difference between winning and losing. So this is the big debate for gamers. Are you all about those epic single-player adventures on your PS5 or Xbox? Then a big, gorgeous TV with amazing HDR is going to give you that jaw-dropping cinematic feel. But if you're grinding out wins in a competitive shooter online, a monitor's crazy fast response time and super high refresh rate are going to give you a real measurable advantage. So, to be clear, if you're a console gamer who just loves to get lost in these incredible story-driven worlds, a modern TV is an absolutely fantastic choice. I mean, the HDR on a good OLED or QLED TV will make those cinematic games look completely breathtaking. But if you live and breathe competitive gaming, we're talking Call of Duty, Valorant, Apex Legends, then a monitor is frankly non-negotiable. That near instantaneous response time makes your actions feel connected to the screen. And that buttery smooth motion from a high refresh rate display, it's a true game changer. Plus, if you're on PC, you've got those amazing ultra-wide options for a massive field of view. So the verdict for gamers really comes down to what you play. If you're playing to win against other people, a monitor gives you a real edge. If you're playing to get lost in another world, a TV's epic scale and color just can't be beat. All right, let's switch gears. Enough about play, let's talk about work. If you are staring at a screen for 8 hours a day, your display isn't just a preference, it's a tool for health and productivity. And honestly, for work, the choice is pretty clear-cut. Yeah, a TV looks tempting, you get so much screen for your money, but a monitor is purpose-built for the job. We're talking way sharper text, adjustments to save your neck and back, and all the right ports to make your life easy. Okay, look at this number, 109 ppi. It sounds technical, but it's the whole reason monitors are better for work. It stands for pixels per inch. It's a measure of density, and it's why text on a good monitor looks so incredibly sharp. Now, if you sit up close to a big 4K TV, the PPI is way lower. The result, text looks fuzzy and pixelated. Trust me, your eyes will be screaming by lunchtime. And it's not just the sharp text. Monitors have all these other features that just make your workday better. Anti-glare coating so you're not fighting reflections all day, stands that let you adjust the height, tilt, and even pivot the screen, and things like flicker-free technology, which you might not notice consciously, but it makes a huge difference in reducing eye strain over a long day. So the verdict here is probably the most decisive one of all. If you are doing any kind of serious computer work, reading emails, writing documents, coding, a proper monitor isn't a luxury. It's a necessary investment in your own health and in the quality of your work.
And now for our final profile, the movie lover. If your goal is to build that perfect home theater experience, well, the screen you pick is absolutely everything.
Just look at this chart. It really tells the whole story right here. When we talk about HDR, those super bright highlights and deep dark shadows, TVs are just playing a different sport. A good TV can get more than twice as bright as a typical monitor, and that's what makes a sunset or an explosion in a movie look so incredibly real. And it's not only about the brightness. TVs are just the complete package for movies. You get huge screens for that theater feeling, color modes that show you the movie exactly as the director intended, all your streaming apps built right in, and better support for amazing sound formats like Dolby Atmos. It's the whole shebang. So, yeah, this verdict is simple. If movies are your thing, even a mid-range TV today will give you a way better, more accurate, and more immersive cinematic experience than even a super expensive computer monitor. It's not even close. Phew. Okay, we have covered a lot of ground. So how do you take all this information and actually make the right call? Well, let's boil it all down to a simple, practical framework. It really just comes down to asking yourself these 3 simple questions. First, where are you putting it? If you're at a desk, you need a monitor. If you're on a couch, you need a TV. It's that simple. Second, what are you really going to be doing most of the time? Be honest. Is it mostly work or mostly gaming? Pick the screen that's built for your main activity. And last, think about your budget and your space. But please, don't let a cheap price tag tempt you into buying the wrong tool for the job. So, there you have it. For competitive gaming or serious work, a monitor is an absolute must. For those immersive single-player games, and of course for movies, a TV is the undisputed champion. But I want to leave you with a final thought. Technology is moving so fast, and the line between these two devices is getting blurrier every year. So in 5 years, are we even going to be having this conversation? Or will we finally have one perfect screen that can do it all? We'll have to wait and see. Thanks for watching.